Damn it, Moffat.
A Doctor Who review.
I'm Seamus Kelly, video producer of The Towerlight, better known for the opinionated Glee review.
And I'm Abby Murphy, assistant photo editor at The Towerlight, better known for the Vikings reviews.
And we are here to basically give a review of Doctor Who episodes, specifically of the new series coming out, Series 7 Part 2. And you may have noticed we may have a slight bias. But we'll get into that. We'll get into that.
This is why we're making this intro video, to kind of say all this stuff up front, so you'll know when you watch the reviews that...
So we can go right into the reviews.
Yeah.
There isn't like, oh, by the way, here I am, but let me also tell you all about myself, and then we'll talk about Doctor Who.
Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that.
I mean, you know, people will probably find our actual reviews, and maybe they'll come back to this. All right, but, okay, so our first thing, we made notes beforehand.
Oh, yeah, notes.
So we did, how did you get into Doctor Who? And Abby, you can start.
Oh, I can start. Okay, well, my story of how I got into Doctor Who is a very long and tedious one. It started with my family, because my family always watches shows together. We started watching Stephen Moffat's Jekyll, which is a really cool show, and I've been meaning to rewatch it. And so we're like, wow, this is great. And then we found out he was going to do this modern adaptation of Sherlock Holmes. And it was right around the time it was airing in the US, so we had really good timing. And so we watched Sherlock, and we're like, oh, this is awesome. And then my dad was like, hey, Doctor Who. Apparently he writes for that. I remember this from when I was a kid. And so we started watching with the 11th Hour, and I think we got as far as the first Weeping Angels episode, but never really continued on with it. It just didn't stick with me. But then, later, I guess around my junior year of high school, my senior year of high school, my brother was watching it. I remember because over the summer, I would come downstairs and all he would be doing was watching Doctor Who. And I was like, Jacob, what are you doing? Okay, you're watching Doctor Who again. But then my time came in my senior year and I got super into it, which annoyed him a little bit.
A little bit?
Because it's my brother. But love you, Jacob. You're wonderful. And so then I started with 9, Rose, and I watched everything up to that, and I was about caught up by the Series 7 has been the first series that I've watched live. So that is my Doctor Who story.
My Doctor Who story is that I'd heard about it just because I used to search things on Wikipedia all the time. I would just sit on Wikipedia for hours and just go, oh, let's look at this, and I used to really love going on like Amazon, like Listmania and stuff like that, and be like, ooh, what's this Doctor Who? And I remember I saw it was on like Sci-Fi Channel, and I remember one of the first things I saw was Cassandra from the end of the world episode. Yes. And I remember, but what really stuck with me was like that scene at the very end where like the Rose and the Doctor are standing there together, and they're like surrounded by all the people. It's such a good scene. And then I remember watching The Unquiet Dead with my mom. Like it was literally because they were on a marathon, and it was right after that. And I was like, Mom, let's watch British sci-fi. And she's like, I want to watch Rachel Ray. I'm like, no, you don't. So we watched that, and then I got really into it from there. And it was on Sci-Fi Channel, so I'm pretty sure I've missed 2 to 3 minutes of certain episodes because they cut them down.
I watched it on Netflix. I lucked out.
Yeah, you lucked out there. Sci-Fi Channel, good times. And so that's where I saw a lot of what, for the first 2-3 seasons, I believe, that's how I saw it until I discovered the wonders of the internet.
Yay! And
also it was like 2-3 weeks behind.
Yeah.
BBC America got on the wall about that.
Yeah, they did. Plus BBC
But
America.
people still watch it early.
Yep.
So how much have you watched? And by that it's like overall, because there's a lot of Doctor Who.
Yeah, there's a lot of Doctor Who, and like many of the fans like on the internet, I've only watched New Who. I haven't watched Classic Who. I've been meaning to, and Seamus is going to make me watch some Classic Who, and I'm excited because I've been wanting to watch it. So I've watched Series 1 through 7, so I'm all caught up on that. So I'm pretty familiar with it. I used to be able to name all the episodes. I'm not sure I can do that.
Not at that point now?
But I'm pretty close, I think. I just have to check Wikipedia to remember some things.
Dude, have you ever gone on like the Doctor Who wikis and stuff?
Oh, I have not.
Intense.
I think I've ventured there a few times to look up specific
But just like Doctor Who on Wikipedia in general is pretty good.
Yeah, just for the episode list.
So, I've seen quite a smattering of the Classic Who. I've seen at least 1 or 2 stories from every Doctor. I've seen just a bit of the first Doctor, like especially that first box set that came out, and I've seen some of the second Doctor. I've seen a little bit of the third Doctor. I've seen quite a bit of the fourth Doctor because actually around the time that it was airing on Sci-Fi, they were showing, at least where I lived, on my local PBS station. They would air it at like 1 o'clock in the morning. So then they were always showing Tom Baker Doctor Who, and so I saw a lot of Tom Baker Doctor Who that way. Then I saw like some Peter Davison, and I love Colin Baker. And even though some of the episodes are really weird, and I've seen Sylvester McCoy, Paul McGann, and so I've seen all that, and I've also seen a lot of the spin-offs. I've seen all of Torchwood in all of its glory. Yay! So And I watched Sarah Jane Adventures when it came out, but then like I kind of tapered off. So then the next question is, who is your favorite Doctor?
Okay, well, mine, it's 10. I know he's the fan favorite, but 10 is near and dear to my heart. I love David Tennant. He is 10 to me. Like, he just loved it so much, and you could see it, and it was his dream to play the Doctor, and that just really got me. Though 9 is a very close second. Like, I don't want to diminish 9. He's definitely up there.
All right, well, my favorite Doctor is actually the 8th Doctor, Paul McGann. Yes, he only has one TV movie that is, like, canonical or whatever, but I'm a really big fan of his portrayal, and it says a lot that within one movie he makes such, like, a big impression on me. And with his wig that he hated so much. He hates that wig to death. And, I mean, he doesn't even really get to be the Doctor until, like, the last half of the movie. Because either he's not in, like, the first 20 minutes, because it's the 7th Doctor. And then he's, like, asleep. And then he's like, who am I?
Not 2 for 601.
I see what you...
Yeah. I like Les Mis.
He's not Javert. I really like the 8th Doctor. And so who is your favorite companion?
Okay, well, I'm a very indecisive person, as you will be able to tell as I go further and down these questions.
down this list.
Down this list of questions, but favorite companion, Rose. I love Rose, absolutely adore her. But Donna, I mean, Donna may be my favorite actually, but the Rose and Donna are just such different characters, and their dynamic with the Doctor is so different that I like to think that they can both be my favorite. But
my favorite companion is Ace from the 7th Doctor, because Ace is just, I was reading an interview with her in Doctor Who magazine actually, and she's like, I feel like maybe they watched Ace and like kind of like were inspired for Rose, because like she was from Earth, like very like down to earth and whatnot, although they first met her on like an alien planet.
I mean, of course.
Oh god, Dragonfire is so bad. By the way, least favorite companion is Mel. So bad. I hate Mel with fiery passion. You don't know who Mel is,
I don't.
but she's awful. Everyone hates her, and there's a really good reason why.
I'll take your word for it.
Oh, she screams. Next up is, what are your favorite episodes?
Oh, thank you for adding the favorite episodes, because this is episode, and I was like, can't do that. Okay, so I have a lot, and I did omit some because nobody wants to hear all that. But some of my favorites are New Earth, because it's just so much fun,
yeah.
And 10 and Rose are so cute, and I loved Cassandra in that episode, and you can just see the fun that David and Billy had filming that. Like, you can see Billy trying not to laugh when David's, Cassandra's being David, and he's just like, doing a samba and all that. Such a great episode. It's just fun. Like, I can just watch it and be happy, and I like watching Doctor Who and walking away happy, because a lot of times I get sad. Okay. And
More on that later.
More on that later. One of my other favorites is Planet of the Ood with Donna. It's just, it's such a great episode. It's one of those episodes of sci-fi that speaks on so many different thematic levels, and I really appreciate that. It's one of my favorite things about sci-fi. Then Turn Left. I love Turn Left, although after that I always want to go right into the season finale, and that's just so painful, but it's so good. But Turn Left is a really good episode. Oh, fun fact. First watched the episode, I was in the middle of watching, I think I was on series 2 or 3. My brother comes home from school, and he's like, I don't want to watch this episode, because, it was series 3, because my brother doesn't like Martha. He was like, we're going to watch Turn Left, but it's okay. It's a standalone. You don't have to know anything about it. And I was like, okay, Jacob. It's not a standalone. Luckily, I forgot everything by the time I got to it.
It's not a standalone at all.
He lied to me, but it's one of my favorites. It's a really good episode. And then Vincent the Doctor. It's one of my favorites. Probably my favorite from Series 5. Just so beautifully done. I cry. And then The Doctor's Wife, Neil Gaiman. I
remember when that episode came out, and I saw people on Facebook or whatever being like, psh, Neil Gaiman's not that great a writer, or however you pronounce his name. Neil Gaiman, he's not that great a writer. He doesn't know how to write Doctor Who. I'm like, you can go.
Excuse me?
You can go F off.
One of my favorite episodes. So wonderful. Okay, and that's...
He also wrote an episode of Babylon 5.
Oh, I need to watch that. Okay.
In the 5th season.
To you, Seamus.
My favorite episodes are the TV movie with Paul McGann. It definitely has problems, but I love it anyway. It has a lot of problems. It's really funny. But it also has Camp Master. Super Camp Master. I always dress for the occasion. Like, and he's got these, like even more ridiculous Time Lord outfit.
Oh my God,
on.
I love the Master. He's one of my favorite villains. My friends don't like him, but I think he's good.
I mean, the gay is strong in that TV movie.
Yeah.
Of course, then also the TV movie is where he says, the doctor is half human, which they completely forget about. Remembrance of the Daleks, a fantastic 7th Doctor and Ace episode, where they actually had budget, which is really great, because they did not have budget back in the day. And one of my other favorite episodes is Love and Monsters. I really enjoy Love and Monsters. Like, the monster is super dumb, but I love the main guy in it.
Yeah,
and
Elton is pretty cool.
Elton is great, and he's just and Jackie is awesome in that episode.
I love Jackie in that episode, and the little bit that Rose is in it. I do.
And I mean, yeah, it's really awkward at the end where it's like talking to the stone slab, and he's like,
moaning Myrtle.
We've even got a bit of a love life. It's like, okay, we get it. We know what you're talking about. Although I read a review, it's like, I mean, little kids don't know. They could be talking about kissing. It's like, what else? What else?
But on the flip side...
the least favorite episode.
Yeah, least favorite. A lot of these are two-parters, surprisingly, because there's some really good two-parters I didn't mention, like, Human Nature, Family Blood, all them.
And there are a lot of bad ones.
There are a lot of bad ones, such as Daleks in Manhattan and Evolution of the Daleks.
It gave us Andrew Garfield, but not much else.
I just keep forgetting that Andrew Garfield was in that, and it was just... He did a really great American accent. Brits always
and he had his newsboy cap on.
Yeah, British people can seem to do really good American accents. It's embarrassing. But that was just really bad. It's like, I was watching Doctor Who for the first time, and I got to that episode, and I just stopped. I'm like, I can't do this. I don't want to watch this episode. I really don't. And then I got to the end of it, and I didn't know it was a two-parter.
I am a human Dalek.
Davros.
He's not Davros.
Not Davros.
He's awful. He's
what's
awful.
His face? What was he called?
I don't remember. Dalek Sec or something.
Oh, Dalek Sec. That was his name.
It's awful.
I always want to call
and there
him
were
Davros.
pig people.
Oh. We don't talk about the pig slaves. That was weird. And then Laszlo. I could not
One of the few
stand
times where it's not a good American accent.
Couldn't stand that. And then Victory of the Daleks. Again, a Dalek episode. I forget that one happened, frankly.
Only good one of that episode. Would you care for some tea?
Yeah, I haven't rewatched that one, so maybe I should give it another chance. But I don't really feel the need to.
Not a fan.
And also, The Hungry Earth and Cold Blood, another two-parter with the Silurians. I'm just... Amy in that episode, you get eaten by the Earth, and it was just... It was a rough time.
Rough time
in Series 5. And then the Rebel Flesh and the Almost People. This one was like heartbreaking. I wanted to like it so much because it was like such a cool theme with like cloning and everything. And then it fell flat.
They mucked it up.
Punny. Appreciate a good pun. So those are some of my least favorite episodes in Doctor Who. But
anytime River Song says "sweetie." No, it's not that bad. I also had The Hungry Earth, Cold Blood, Rebel Flesh. And then there are some episodes that, maybe because they're bad, I enjoy them, but they are also awful. Any episode that has Mel in it is pretty bad. Although, I don't know, Terror of the Vervoids, I mean, they're basically monsters that have vagina faces. They're supposed to be plants, but they look like they have vagina faces.
Okay.
And it's really weird, but it's also it's like a send up to Agatha Christie mysteries, but
Unicorn and the Wasp.
your Unicorn and the Wasp did it better.
Yeah.
Way better. Honestly, the first opening story of Doctor Who, not the first episode, but the other 3 parts where they're just chilling in a cave, is awful. Really bad.
Yay, budgets. Or
lack thereof. Lack thereof.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't have that many. Daleks in Manhattan was kind of awful.
My criteria for least favorite Doctor Who episode, would I watch it again? Love and Monsters was not my favorite at all, but I could watch it again. Daleks in Manhattan.
I could never rewatch The Cold Earth or The Rebel Flesh ever again. That was basically all hey guys, we need to do an episode that's going to set up the fact that Amy's like a clone thing.
No,
what?
Plot devices.
God, it's so bad. Oh God. No, but oh yeah, we're gonna get to thoughts on the Moffat.
Okay.
Right now, thoughts on season 7.
Series 7, season 7, whatever you want to call it.
Series. I love how when Matt Smith started, they were trying we're gonna call it Series 1 again, and then they stopped.
Wait, they were gonna do that? I didn't
Yeah,
know
dude,
that.
they really said they really tried to make that a thing, and then it didn't happen.
9. Well, I get so sad when people skip 9. It's do what you want, enjoy the show how you wish, but I think 9 is a greater appreciation for the Doctor's character.
The only good thing about 9 leaving so early was that it got people used to the idea of regeneration.
Yeah, that's true.
Can you imagine if it started with David Tennant and he was on it for like 4 years and then he left? People would
There
be
were a
like,
lot of people that would not complain about that. Let's be honest.
well, no.
but-
Well, the problem is when he left, people would complain even more. It's like,
That's true.
what's the regeneration?
That's
what's
true.
that?
It was necessary.
Well, I mean, it sucks because I always wanted more Christopher Eccleston in my life because I
was
really
great.
like. See, that's the thing about Doctor Who is there aren't any doctors that I dislike.
Yeah, like 11 doesn't have my favorite episodes.
Matt
He's
Smith
so
is
good.
Matt Smith's a great actor. He
He's
just doesn't
awesome.
always have the best episodes.
Yeah.
He does a really good job of playing
He's
like
the,
a
the
5-year-old.
old and the young. It's really cool. You can see it all in his face. It's like, how do you do that?
I still think like as much as people have overplayed it, and they have overplayed it, but there's like the whole like, you know, fezzes are cool or whatever. But then there's the moment like at the end of that episode where like everything's gone to shit, and he's like, it's like bow tie, cool, fez.
I'm the doctor. Starts playing.
I can get another fez. I have the Doctor theme. Dun, dun, dun,
Murray Gold.
dun,
I love
dun,
Murray
dun,
Gold. Like
dun,
I'll just
dun.
listen to the Doctor Who music because it's so good. But I'm the Doctor. We need something else.
But yeah,
Please.
series 7. It followed series 6,
It
which
did.
was not good.
I was so disappointed because I waited so long because I was like, waiting to catch up with Series 6 because I knew I'd have to wait a while for Series 7, so I took my time and I was like, the Wedding River song is gonna be so great. Oh, well.
No.
It was
See,
not my favorite.
now let's
it had cool
let's
parts. but
preface this by saying that like these are all opinions.
opinions.
Like we don't if you disagree, that's totally fine.
Totally okay.
Remember, as always, it's just a show. You should really just relax.
Yeah, a lot. Like, I mean, I admit that I'm biased, but at the same time, I can recognize that there are good things about episodes that I'm not particularly fond of.
Yeah.
Companions I'm not particularly fond of. I totally respect everybody else's opinions on it, because that's the cool thing about the Doctor Who fandom. There's a lot of discussion going back and forth.
And then there are the awful people.
We don't talk about that.
So Stephen Moffat doesn't know how to write women.
Yeah, this is a consistent problem.
Taking it, don't just take it from me, please.
Oh no, I mean, as a woman, I like to see some of Stephen Moffat's characters, and I mean, I saw this in Sherlock too, and it's just Irene Adler. I loved her, and then I was like, but it's just there's just a lot of things that
wasn't
are
it that's
problematic.
like she's a lesbian except that she loves Sherlock? Or
I
wasn't
mean,
it?
yeah, that
was that what was implied?
that was a thing, and Stephen Moffat, he doesn't write women characters the way like he tends to rely on they're a mother figure or they're a BAMF and they could do all the things like River and.
But they're all related to. Now to be fair,
their lives center around the Doctor.
now let's be fair though.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, pretty much everyone in this show's life are related.
Touche, male,
Like,
female, yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty much are all like, but especially like River Song, who's like whole life, and also I think I was talking to this about a friend this past weekend, and she's like, okay, if you saw someone when they were young enough for you to for you to change their diapers, you do not be making sexy eyes at them later.
I mean,
Like, okay, he made out with River's mom.
there are a lot of problematic things about that. I don't know. It's like I want to give benefit of the doubt, and it's like the way he writes female characters doesn't appeal to me that much. I just don't relate to them. That's the problem I found. Like with Rose, less with Rose for me, but Donna. Like Donna, what I loved about Donna was the whole aspect that you're the most important woman in the whole of creation, and she didn't believe it because she's like, I'm just a temp from Chiswick, and I just love that because it's like that's the message. One of the messages I love about Doctor Who, that everybody's important and that living an ordinary life is a beautiful thing, and it really touches me to my soul, and I love it.
But the thing about Series 7, and this is also the problem with Series 6, this whole half-season shit.
Half season thing, it's just
I understand.
Oh, I understand why they do it.
Yes.
And I understand especially with the 50th and all the things coming up why they're doing it, but for me as a viewer, it's just Stephen Moffat takes it as an opportunity that it's 2 times the excitement because you got double the season premieres and finales, but I find it's 2 times the disappointment.
2 times the disappointment.
Sadly, because the problem is there isn't enough time, I think, to build up a really good meta plot over such a short period of time.
It's just like...
It's like I felt really kind of disconnected. It was good that they introduced Oswin in the first episode, Sound of the Daleks. That was cool, but it's just that whole part was just the send-off of the pawns, which I think Moffat did brilliantly. It was a really good send-off for them.
But then he was an asshole about it.
Yeah, well, let's give him the benefit of the
Give him
doubt.
the benefit of the
Yeah.
doubt. I thought it was really good, but then I really detested the Christmas special. I didn't hate it. I should say I detested parts of it. I really loved
Jenny.
Jenny.
Fosh. Madam Frost.
Yes,
How is her name?
and the Sunflower.
Strax.
It's Strax. I want them to be the new companions. I don't care about Oswin.
I just don't want sexual tension in the TARDIS. Is that so much to ask for?
You know what's really funny is that they used to have a rule in the old series called no hanky panky in the TARDIS. That was the rule they
that
had.
carried over to the new series. Well, whoops.
Well,
No.
I think
Rose. The problem with the entire series, I found this series has been pacing. I've just found it really rushed. Like, Dinosaurs on a Spaceship was really weird. Like, all of a sudden, like, last 5 minutes, like, everything's happening.
Yeah.
Doctor Stuff, like, everything. I'm the Doctor's playing in the background. Go, 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 go.
Dun, dun, dun,
Dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun.
And I love I'm the Doctor, but it's just like, really? I mean, I just feel like the pacing has been a little off, and it's really thrown me off this series. But I have not high hopes, but I have hopes for this series, and I want to go in enjoying it. But
I mean, like, that's the thing is, like, I don't want Doctor Who to be bad.
no,
If any of you watch, like, the
still,
Glee...
even the bad Doctor Who episodes are really good.
I mean, even if you, like...
Compared.
If you watch, like, say, like, the Glee reviews I do and how
Oh,
angry I am at that show... And I speak very
Like,
frequently
this-
how angry, like, at that point, I don't even want, like, at this point, I just want to get rid of Glee. Like, I don't even want, like, I would love it if Glee just, like, miraculously became good again, but it won't. Like, Doctor Who can totally be good again, like, in, like, a hot, it's not like I'm like, oh.
And it's not even that bad. It's just not, it's not my favorite
It's not
right
as
now.
good as it used to be.
Yeah.
And I'm not, like,
But
one
that's
of those.
an opinion, again, obviously.
Dude, like, once again, when Matt Smith started, there's some people like, oh my god, I miss David Tennant. I'm like, I was so down with, like season 5 or series 5, like, except for The Hungry Earth. But there was a lot of good with, and I love Matt Smith's portrayal, and I found him minorly attractive. Like that.
Doctor Who, that's something familiar. Oh, sorry, James.
Oh god.
That's been,
Trigger warning.
Who is-
Doctor Who? Question mark.
Who is Clara Osmond Oswald? Ooh, Doctor Who.
Doctor Who? It's like
If we drop that pun one more, I love puns. It's just
like it's cute when they do it once in a while, but now it's like essential, like blah blah. The ultimate question, Doctor Who.
and they've been setting it for a while, and they kind of like I know he hasn't forgotten about it.
No, they remember.
They remember, but it's just like it just keeps coming back. You're like,
Who is Clara? Who is it? Honestly,
this, like one of the concerns I have, like, is this all gonna be about Clara? Like, I mean, I kind of.
I'm gonna be real pissed if like the 50th anniversary is just like River Song and Clara.
duking
Like,
it out.
like for real though, the 50th anniversary better just be like okay.
I think it's gonna be. I think Stephen Moffat. He loves Doctor Who. Like, he's
I
a
just
fanboy.
really hope that River Song is not involved in the 50th anniversary.
Well, yeah, she's gonna. Be,
I think
she's gonna
that there's or they need to not be that involved or something. All I know is that for 50th anniversary, what I would love, like, look, I understand that fan service is a double-edged sword and that it's really great for fans, but then
Yeah.
people who don't know about things,
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you want to have all those references, and you want to have, like, I would love some throwbacks to 9 and 10, but that's not what Stephen Moffat
like,
needs.
I
for the
would
show right
love to see a whole bunch of past Doctors up on the screen. That would be super great, but I also understand it's probably not going to happen.
now. I feel like they're gonna try. Stephen Moffat's been really good about referencing and not nods to, like, classic Who, like with the Brigadier's daughter, yeah, in
Yeah.
Power of 3, which that was an episode.
That was an episode. It was, the thing for me is just that, like, once again, like, who is Oswin? Who is, like, stop. And I understand some people do like these long-term mysteries. They really like long-term blah, blah,
But
blah.
the problem is, I feel like I will give him credit because he did bring it up at the beginning of the series, but then it was, like, so overshadowed by the Pawns leaving, with good reason, because it was
Yes.
a big deal. But I just wish it was just a little more subtly done. That may be asking too much, and I accept, like, that there's reasons for not doing that. But it's like, it's so in your face, it's going to be every episode, and it's just, I know it's an overarching plot, which is good, but I don't know.
It's too much. It's
That's
and the
a
thing
little
is that, like, there's so much, like, who is this person? Who is this person? And then some people are like, well, it's fun trying to figure out the mystery. For me, I'm like, look, I don't want everything at once. I'm not like one of those people who, like, give it to me all now. But I think it's, like, too complicated for its own good, where it's turning people away. Like,
Yeah.
my mom watches this show and she's like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. And my mom is not like an old lady or anything.
My mom got pretty frustrated with the Christmas special, not gonna lie. She was like, that was awful. And I was like, yeah, it wasn't the
There's a
best."
villain, he doesn't do anything.
It was just in the bad pacing again. It was like Claire, and I love Jenna Louise Coleman. She's such a cool, like, thing,
Person.
but then people are shipping her and 11. And, ship what you want. Do what
People
you
are going to
want.
ship everyone with the
And people are
Doctor.
always gonna ship it. I don't. gonna be blacklisting a few things once the series comes out.
I'm sure there are people
but that's okay. Ship what you want.
Damn it, Doctor Who.
Yeah,
and they're like, what's his name? And people are like, I want to know what his name is. Like, no, you don't, because whatever the answer is, you will be disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a part of the mystery. Maybe that'll be kind of thing. Like, it's an eternal mystery.
I
Like,
really hope that Oswin is not River Song's daughter. Or there are some people saying she's that little girl from the Silence of the Library.
I think
or
somebody
whatever.
just proved that.
Someone just proved that?
Maybe. There's so many things on Tumblr, I don't know what
Some
that
people
means.
were like, oh, it's Susan, it's the Doctor's granddaughter.
Yeah, there've been
Which
a lot
would
of...
be really weird.
so weird.
What's okay and fic is not as much in real life.
And then the people who really, really were hoping that it would be Tentu and Rose's daughter. But I don't really want
That's too
Moffat
much.
to touch
That's
that.
too much. That's also that's a step too far.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Moffat needs to separate himself from Russell TV.
Oh, he certainly
Definitely.
did that. Where
yeah,
he basically
he's done that.
where they basically like erased the whole like, oh yeah, everyone on Earth knows about aliens.
Yeah,
it
which
all
was-
went to the crack of the wall.
I didn't understand the crack in the thing. I still need to rewatch Series 5 because when I first watched it, I was like, Big Bang 2, still don't know what was going on there. But it was a smart move because you were saying to me one time about how it wouldn't be our universe and Doctor Who became this strange alternate universe where aliens were accepted. And it's so alien you can't relate. Alien punny. You can't relate to it.
So
Which
they
I
want to
understand.
make it relatable.
So Moffat did right. Like 11th Hour, probably one of my favorite.
Well, what's also funny is like with things like Torchwood, is like they did a thing where like for a solid like year, no one on Earth died.
Yeah.
And like that's never referenced in Doctor Who. Like, and there are ways you could like there are so many continuity errors in Doctor Who.
It comes with the territory.
There are like whole like novelization books that are dedicated just to unexplaining continuity errors.
Yeah.
Like or explaining them, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And especially for the old series, because there are a lot. I want a companion who's like a crazy old lady. That would be awesome. Maggie Smith for companion now.
Oh my gosh.
That would be. She would not be having any of his shit. The Doctor would be like,
she would call
"Hey,
him out.
what's up?" And she'd be like, "No, I am McGonagall. You can stop.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
whatever her
I
face
love
is in
Dame
Downton
Maggie
Abbey."
Smith, the Dowager Countess.
Yes.
She's so cool. Best character.
I think we've been talking for quite a bit.
A really long time.
This is probably half an hour.
At least.
Maybe we should investigate doing this as like a podcast. Maybe this would be better as a podcast.
Maybe.
It's quite long.
Yeah.
Quite long.
Oh, yeah. Well.
Quite long. Yes. So if you have any comments, please leave them below.
Yes, definitely. Love the comments.
Yes, leave them below. If you have anything you'd like us to talk about.
Specifically as the series
Well, we're
progresses.
basically gonna do the episodes right after they air.
Yeah, we're gonna hardcore like that raw emotion reaction, which should be
Yes.
interesting. Oh, it's gonna cut into my blogging time afterwards.
It's gonna cut into your blogging time.
Yeah, because
Did you really just say that? It's gonna cut into my vlogging time. By the way, quick note: that prequel episode for Series 7 was awful.
I just avoided sending it to you because I was like, she was gonna be so angry when he
What was the line where it was like, "Come along, Clara," or whatever? I wish you guys had taken a photo of my face.
It was a great
very,
face.
It was just
a
like.
wonderful face. Yep. I was just watching his face and I was like, I knew you were gonna be angry.
Because at first I'm like, okay, whatever, Doctor.
I mean, the prequels, I won't judge the episode on it because the prequels are always just like cute little kind of teasers for the episodes.
It's just little teases, yeah.
But yeah, it was just kind of like I've seen this approach before, with young Amelia Pond.
We've seen it already.
Yeah.
We've seen it.
But I mean, it'll be different for the episode, I'm sure.
So overall, I'm looking forward to Series 7 Part 2.
Part 2. I'm looking forward to 2.
Two.
2. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things play out, especially for the 50th. It's gonna be grand.
It's gonna be grandiose.
Yes, very much
It's
so.
gonna be right grand.
Right.
Right. So until then, hopefully loyal, damn it, Moffat watchers. Until later, Whovians.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Alonzi.
Allons-y.